Hey guys, and welcome back. As I did the video the other day about Wendy Williams and needing to take a hiatus, NBC correspondent Derek Clifton wrote an article on today specifying that Wendy Williams' days may be over, her daytime talk show and her shock jockette sense of humor might be on its way out. Now, he said Wendy Williams' delights in controversy. It is perhaps the hallmark of her career, from her early days as a radio shock jockette to her current daytime talk show. Now, Williams has never denied her messy tendencies and, in fact, openly embraces them. That's her brand, and many of her fans love her because of it, not in spite of it. For many years, audiences have found Williams to be both intriguing and relatable. Now, that's the kind of girl I am. She often quimps with a toothy grin along with her mantra to say it like you mean it. Now, she's the local busybody someone takes out for wine to engage in petty gossip about people they know. Now, he says she's the unpredictable but super fun girlfriend you call when you want to dig up some dirt on a frenemy. Now, yet as of late, Williams' style of topic commentary has become less harmlessly shady and more alarming for the general public, thanks to a steady drumbeat of comments and insults that have caused ire even among her most loyal fans. Now, more and more comedians are being called out for humor that punches down, exemplifies by Ricky Gervais' long-standing hypocrisy on the matter, as well as David Chappelle's reckless routines about sexual assault, transgender people during recent Netflix specials. Now, perhaps the intensifying backlash against Williams is a sign that the role of the broadcast shock jockette is also due for an update, if not a full-scale reckoning. Now, when this piece was assigned, Williams was in hot water for derogatory comments about gay people. But during the writing and editing process, she dipped her toes into controversial pool again. Now, most recently, Williams is taking heat for her February 17 Hot Topic segment, in which Williams appeared to mock the tragic murder of Amy Hardwick, a celebrity sex therapist and ex-fiancé of The Price is Right host Drew Carey. Now, after noting that Hardwick was found beneath a third-floor balcony, Williams shouted the game show catchphrase, "Come on down," while mimicking a fall with her head. Now, 3 days after the incident, Hardwick's brother Chris demanded a public apology that Williams has never offered. Now, indeed, the outspoken talk queen has issued multiple appeals for forgiveness in the preceding weeks for offensive remarks about the queer community and people with disabilities. Gabbing in on January about award season darling Jaquan Phoenix, Williams joked about his cleft palate scar, which otherwise appears as a gap in his mustache, all while pulling up her lips to talk as though she had the condition. Now, Wendy did do that, and I think that's what pissed people off. She was really commenting and saying how attractive he is, but she continually put her finger and pulled her lips up while talking, and like a person with a cleft lip, which they didn't get it. Now, he goes on to say on Valentine's Day, an informal observance before Valentine's Day, she went on an unnecessary tantrum about why men shouldn't participate in the fake holiday before taking aims at gay guys, specifying, "and stop wearing our skirts and our heels," she added. "Just saying, girls, what do we have for ourselves It was a remark that also swiped at gender variant members of the queer community and echoed at a 2017 incident when Williams ejected an audience member for coming in drag. Now, on the day after the Super Bowl, Williams angered many in the black community when she slammed Beyonce and Jay-Z for remaining seated during the national anthem. While wearing Beyonce's new Ivy Park Adidas fashion line, Adidas fashion line, Williams said, "You understand that all eyes were on you. You should have stood up before implying that the couple should leave the country if they don't like it." Now, he goes on to say she stays putting her foot in her mouth, saying the wrong thing at the wrong time about the wrong people. Now, Monique Judge wrote at the root, yet she continues to get a pass. Why? Why indeed? But to understand Williams' at times baffling popularity, you have to take a stroll down memory lane. Now, before her iconic talk show premiered nationally in 2009, Williams was a celebrated, if not infamous, hip-hop DJ, radio DJ, who blended her ear for music with bona fides of a shock jock. Opinions, flagrant disregard for political correctness, tabloid chatter, lively on-air calls from listeners, and she managed to defy the odds as a successful woman working in radio formats typically dominated by men. Now, along the way to becoming a household name, she made countless celebrity enemies and frenemies. In 2006, she publicized the otherwise private cancer diagnosis of Method Man's wife, whose family didn't know about the illness until Williams put it on blast. "That ain't nobody effing business," the rapper said in an interview at the time, adding that it was mad, tacky, and disrespectful. Now, the incident, he said, brought him to tears, and Williams added insult to injury by alleging he was also cheating on his spouse with one of their doctors. Now, she also routinely picked apart Whitney Houston's struggles with drug addiction. Now, she did, y'all. I didn't agree with that. Now, in January 2003, Houston called the radio show for an extended interview in which she chided Williams for overly invasive questions and crass remarks about her sex life with Bobby Brown. The tense encounter didn't prompt much of a change in Williams' style, but the exchange with Houston did give the host even more of a following, as did the many other celebrity spats Williams has provoked. Now, Mariah Carey's 2008 hit Touch My Body even took a jab at the notorious host, with Carey warning her would-be lover to keep their romance private, "'cause they be all up in my business like a Wendy interview." The song dominated the airwaves months before Wendy Williams' TV test run aired this summer. Now, at first, the Wendy Williams show felt like a new leaf for Williams. She gave up her much more abrasive radio persona to become more daytime TV friendly. Williams dialed down the controversial remarks, kept the hot topic gossip to a newsstand tone, mixed in fashion tips and trends, opened space for her studio audience to ask Wendy for advice, and took a far less approach towards interviewing celebrity guests, the ones she hadn't already alienated. Now, Williams even spoke glowingly and often about Houston in the lead up to the singer's 2009 comeback album, I Look to You, giving her audience fans emblazoned with the singer's face as part of her campaign to get the singer to appear on the show. Now, Houston never darkened the doorway. Others did eventually come around to bury the hatchet, such as Whoopi Goldberg, whose first appearance drove Wendy Williams to tears. "I waited for this," Williams said during a long embrace with the View host Goldberg responded with a knowing, "You've grown up." Now, while reporting the news of Houston's 2012 passing, Wendy held a Whitney fan and sobbed on the air in apparent remorse. But was Williams truly a reformed woman? As her show became more of a fixture, Williams has steadily turned the heat back up, and her commentary is increasingly resembling her shock jockette radio persona past. Now, among many remarks that have drawn major headlines recently, she sounded the false alarm of a reverse racism by questioning how people would feel if there was a NAACP for white folks, and repeatedly used transphobic tropes to criticize Caitlyn Jenner's gender transition. Now, if anything, despite the call and response of controversy, backlash, and apology, William is getting worse. And yet, when she's right, she's spots on. These splashes keep many of her fans holding on, happy or at least willing to ignore the miscues. Very few women have talk shows, and even fewer women of color have this kind of mainstream platform. Indeed, when her show premiered in 2009, Oprah and Tyra Banks' runs were winding down, eventually leaving Williams as the biggest female star with the iconic daytime TV talk show spot. Now, unfortunately, when Wendy Williams is wrong, she's very wrong and very loud. Even with her very long track record of wild behavior, the public rallied behind Williams during multiple hiatuses in 2019, prompted by a combination of a very public scandal involving her longtime manager and then husband, now ex-husband, a resulting drug addiction relapse, and her ongoing chronic health issues. Now, he says, Wendy Williams is an entertainment survivor and a pioneer in her own way. She has a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame and items from her show in the Smithsonian. But that's no excuse for her behavior that would likely have gotten any other broadcaster and many shock jocks fired by now. For all the public grace she's received, she doesn't seem to reciprocate much. It may be time for one of America's most problematic faves to either turn off the microphone or at the very least put her humor where her heart is. Now, Derek Clifton, he's an award-winning writer and journalist focusing on identity, wellness, and culture and social justice. Based in Illinois, his work has appeared at outlets including Vox, The Root, Mike, The Guardian, Chicago Reader, and NBC News. Now, how about that? Now, I told y'all that, and a lot of y'all say, oh, Wendy been doing this for years. Wendy this, Wendy that, Wendy this. But when Wendy gets to criticizing a certain audience and they turn their back on her, hey, ain't nothing can save Wendy. So, I think, like I said in my last video about Wendy, a hiatus would be appropriate. Have her some different entertainer to host the show until she can get her rhythm back. Cause, hey, I'm telling you, I don't care how long she's been on the air and how, just like this guy said, everybody, Wendy's slip is showing and everybody is seeing it. And Wendy gonna be a yesterday, a has been, and an outcast if she don't get her shit together. Excuse me for my language, but like my mom used to say, you just wait and see. Because we got to do something. Or they go, like he said, cut the mic off. Because she She effing up too bad now and stepping on a lot of big people's uh, feet. And you can't step on their feet like that and get away with it. All right, guys, I know Wendy is controversial, but what do you think? Again, what do you think now? All right, guys, push that comment button. We'll talk about it. Thank you so very much for watching my video. Hope that you will like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And as always in party, be blessed, y'all.